Hello, I'm Dr. Marie Hartwell-Walker, and I'm talking today about the importance of the family dinner. And to frame that, I'd like you to close your eyes and to think for a minute about what those words mean to you, family dinner. Now, most of us have an idealized version when we think about it. Those of us brought up in the 50s and the 60s, and those of us who've watched Nick at Night, think about Leave It to Beaver or Ozzie and Harriet. Fast forward about 2 decades and you get to Bill Cosby and the Huxtable family, and everybody sits down at this lovely family meal, and all the kids are washed up and their faces are all shiny and they're saying please and thank you, and there's this lovely meal on the table, right? And then, of course, we have that iconic picture by Norman Rockwell of the idealized Thanksgiving dinner that tortures most of us because very few of us pull it off, of the multi-generational, friendly, everybody's friendly, everybody looks like they're having a good time, there's this great big turkey, and okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I have 4 kids. It rarely looked like that. You know, kids were bickering. I would tell them 3 times to go get washed up. They probably did, sort of. They'd be arguing. They would be competing with each other for airtime. Their father and I would try to just kind of corral the group and get people to have reasonable manners, because after all, part of what the family dinner is about is civilizing these kids. And he and I would be trying to exchange some logistical information about who's taking who where, and we might try, and how was your day, and how was your day, and that would go pretty well some of the time. And other times somebody would be in a snit and somebody would be mad at somebody else, and so just because we called dinner didn't mean that was over. In short, it didn't look much like Ozzie and Harriet or the Huxtable family. It looked like sometimes utter chaos and other times controlled chaos, but we did make it through the meal. And by the way, they were rarely gourmet. I used to joke that I had 5 revolving meals. We had the same meals over and over because it was what I could do at the end of a long work day, and why not just have things that I knew were nutritious and everybody liked. Okay. The important point here is that despite all that chaos, which I think is shared by most large families, there are important outcomes from having family dinners. We know from the research that kids who convene in their family 3 to 5 times a week are less likely as teenagers to abuse drugs and alcohol. Kids who have dinners with their families are more likely to have good grades. The thinking is that there's something about getting together with parents on a regular basis that helps kids feel more accountable to their family, and that's part of why they do better. But even more important than those concrete outcomes is something much less concrete, and that's the sense of belonging in family. That kids who grow up in a family that convenes the family several times a week are kids who have a stronger sense of belonging, who have a sense of interconnection with other people. They know how to relate in a group. They know how to talk, and they know how to listen in ways that kids who don't have family meals ever achieve. So there are lots of reasons, besides the more concrete, better grades, less drugs reasoning, to make the effort. Now, the primary inhibitor, shall we say, of doing that is parental exhaustion. Parents who are coming home from work every day have trouble thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this too? And also, our kids are so busy. Their schedules are so overcrowded for many, many kids. Some kids going to soccer practice, some kid has to go to theater practice, somebody else has a big project due tomorrow, and it can feel like just too many obstacles to pull it off. It's certainly easier just to let people graze out of the refrigerator or to come and go as they please. But getting the family together around a table to have conversation and doing the best we can at it is part of what tends the family heart. And that's what I talk about in my book, Tending the Family Heart. That it's when we take the time and are mindful about getting our families together and through various activities that we can build a sense of warmth and strength within our families. It's what makes a house a home, and it's what makes a group of people into a family.